Matthew 21:22 reminds us of a profound truth that resonates in every corner of life. And all things, whatever you shall ask in prayer, believing, you shall receive. It is a verse brimming with hope, promising a life filled with divine blessings for those who dare to trust and believe. Today, let us delve deep into this promise and uncover the life-changing power of prayer, the unyielding strength of faith, and the boundless greatness of God. Prayer is not just words spoken into the void. It is a sacred dialogue between you and the Creator of the universe. Imagine for a moment the significance of this truth. The same God who formed the stars, sculpted mountains, and painted the skies hears your whispers. Matthew 21:22 assures us that when we pray, believing in our hearts, we shall receive. But what does it mean to believe? Believing means praying with confidence that God is listening, knowing He has the power to transform situations. Think of Elijah on Mount Carmel, 1 Kings chapter 18, 36-39. Surrounded by people worshipping false gods, Elijah prayed with unwavering faith. He called upon God to send fire from heaven, and God answered, proving His power and sovereignty. Prayer is not a ritual, it's a relationship. It's an act of faith that shifts mountains, breaks chains, and opens doors no man can close. Faith is the unseen force that gives prayer its power. It's the bridge between our human limitations and God's infinite capabilities. Often, we're tempted to give up when life doesn't unfold as we expect. But faith teaches us to hold on, even when the answers seem delayed. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? She had tried everything, seen countless doctors, and spent all she had. Yet, her faith, her belief that simply touching the hem of Jesus' garment would heal her, brought her the miracle she desperately needed. Faith, no matter how small, can unleash God's mighty power in your life. One of the greatest challenges of faith is trusting God's timing. It's easy to grow impatient when we don't see immediate results. But Matthew 21:22 doesn't promise that we'll receive instantly. It promises we will receive when we ask, believing. God's delays are never denials. They are often His way of preparing us for the blessings ahead. Think of Abraham and Sarah. God promised them a son, but years passed without fulfillment. Yet, in His perfect timing, Isaac was born, and God's promise was realized. Just as a seed undergoes a season of waiting before it sprouts, so do our prayers. This time of waiting refines our faith and prepares us for the blessings to come. Let's pause to reflect on the greatness of the one we pray to. The God who promises to answer our prayers is not limited by human constraints. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. His resources are endless, and His love for us knows no bounds. Consider the parting of the Red Sea. The Israelites faced an impossible situation, trapped between Pharaoh's army and the sea. Yet, through Moses' prayer and faith, God revealed His greatness, splitting the sea and leading His people to safety. When we understand the magnitude of God's greatness, we realize there's no request too big for Him. Gratitude amplifies our faith. When we thank God for what we have and for what He is about to do, we create an atmosphere of expectancy. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's possible. Consider the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000 with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. Before performing the miracle, Jesus gave thanks. Gratitude unlocks miracles because it reflects trust in God's ability to provide. When we approach prayer with a heart of gratitude, we align ourselves with God's provision. Prayer requires persistence. It's easy to become discouraged when answers don't come immediately. But the Bible encourages us to pray without ceasing. Persistent prayer shows our determination and dependence on God. Think of the story of Hannah in 1 Samuel 9-20. She prayed fervently for a child, pouring out her heart year after year. Her persistence and faith were rewarded when God blessed her with Samuel, who became a great prophet. Persistent prayer demonstrates trust in God's perfect timing and His faithfulness to fulfill His promises. Faith isn't truly faith until it's tested. Trials are often the fire that refines our belief and draws us closer to God. When we face adversity, prayer becomes our lifeline, and faith becomes our anchor. Daniel's unwavering faith in the lion's den is a testament to the power of prayer and belief. Even in the face of death, he trusted God, and God's greatness was revealed through his deliverance. Trials are opportunities for God to showcase His power and deepen our trust in Him. God honors bold and specific prayers. Too often, we hesitate to ask for big things because we fear disappointment. But Matthew 21:22 invites us to ask boldly, believing wholeheartedly. Bartimaeus, the blind man, in Mark chapter 10:46-52, cried out to Jesus despite the crowd's rebukes. His boldness and faith brought him healing. Let us learn to approach God with confidence, trusting that He hears and responds. When we pray specifically, we acknowledge God's intimate involvement in our lives. Faith is not a momentary act, but a way of life. It's about walking each day with the assurance that God is with us. When we live by faith, we radiate peace and joy that surpass understanding. The apostles, though faced with persecution, lived with unshakable faith. Their prayers and belief turned the world upside down. Imagine Peter walking on water. Though he faltered, his initial step of faith defied natural law. This story teaches us to live boldly, trusting in God's power to sustain us. As we conclude, let Matthew 21:22 be a constant reminder. God is faithful, and His promises are true. Whatever you ask in prayer, believing, you shall receive. This is not just a statement. It is an invitation to trust, to dream, and to live boldly in faith. Let us rise today with a renewed commitment to pray fervently, believe deeply, and trust wholeheartedly. Because when prayer, faith, and the greatness of God come together, nothing is impossible. Let the stories of Elijah, the woman with the issue of blood, Hannah, Daniel, and Bartimaeus inspire you. Their lives prove that prayer, combined with faith, invites God's miracles into our lives. This promise is not just for some, it is for you. Hold on to it, live it, and watch as God transforms your life in ways you never imagined. Let the journey of prayer and faith become the greatest adventure of your life. If you believe someone else needs to hear these words, please share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need today. And if this message touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep spreading faith and love together.